Hi there. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent Training. Welcome to our Sunday members only class. Today, we're inviting non-members to join us as well, so you can take a little look at what we do on Sundays in our members class. This is a question and answer class, and the format is similar to our class that we hold on Fridays at 12 o'clock Seattle time, but it's a smaller group because it's just people who've joined the channel as members. And if you're interested in channel membership, you can click on the join button, or you can take a look at my channel page and you can see a little video that shows you some of the perks and advantages of being a channel member. I'll talk about some in class today, but mostly we're going to talk about your questions and comments, and we'll talk a little bit about a few topics that have come in over the week from our channel members. So I would say that's probably the main perk for channel members is not only do they get a second live class where they can ask their questions, they can come each week and I'll help them with pronunciation, intonation, anything that is useful for communication. But also, if they can't make it to class, they can ask their questions throughout the week, and then I cover them on Sundays. So it's a great way to get some more personalized help for your specific needs and not have to wait, since now we have so many requests for the word of the day. It takes me a while to get to your questions and requests. So let's take a quick look at a topic that we're covering in our lessons for members, and then I have the members' requests from this week. If you're watching live, feel free to leave your questions or to type your questions in the chat at any time, and I'll cover those as well. So what I wanted to talk about was this week's 5x5 challenge lesson. So for our channel members, we have some bonus videos that only members can see. And we've been covering some topics that are useful for working on pronunciation and accent. And each week there's an accompanying lesson on speechmodification.com. So I'll show you those in just a moment. This week, our lesson was about second syllable stress. So words are broken down into syllables. That's the rhythm of the word. And we have what are called stressed syllables and unstressed syllables. And in fact, let me show you another word. So all of these words here have second syllable stress. So does the word banana. I often use this as my sample word. When I say banana, you can hear that, or if I point it out to you, you might hear that I'm stressing and longer in the middle syllable. It sounds like banana. If I go really slow, banana, the na is much longer than the first and last syllables. The other thing that happens here in banana, is that even though I have 3 letter A's, I actually only say the the black cat vowel in that middle syllable. Those other 2 A's actually say vowel schwa. They sound like so it's actually ba, na, na, banana. So those are some of the things that happen when a syllable is stressed. It's more likely to have a clear vowel. The unstressed syllables are more likely to have reduced vowels, and I'm longer on that stressed syllable. Why does this matter? Well, if I say this word with a different pattern, say I said banana or banana, it doesn't even sound like the same word, does it? Now, you're probably not making a mistake on banana. Maybe you have a different pronunciation, more like banana, where you use the British pronunciation there. But it's a good example of showing you how the spelling doesn't really always tell us about syllable stress. So, for example, in apparent, we have an A here, but we actually have vowel schwa for that sound. So apparent, because the pair is the stressed syllable, doesn't sound like an A or an A for that letter A. It sounds like an apparent, or another. So in my lesson that's coming up, the 5x5 for this week, we talk about a lot of common words and show you how to use the dictionary to look them up, show you how to sort things by syllable stress. Often, this is one that I hear that people will often stress the first syllable, and actually in the word myself, we stress on self. So the my is short. It's not myself, rather myself. I did it myself. Or in the word, for example, complete, the letter C-O-M again, have that schwa, that sound, I just quickly and lightly touch on the come and then land on pleat, complete. I'm going to complete the task. So that's a very brief overview about syllable stress, focusing on second syllable stress. And I'll show you in the video that is released to members this week for that second syllable stress, there also is an accompanying website lesson. And so when you go on speechmodification.com and you go to the online free practice, you can see here our 5x5 challenge. And then this is all of the different lessons. So we can go, we're on week 18 already. Can you believe it, guys? Amazing. So here on week 18, if I navigate back to that, you'll see not only the 5x5 challenge lesson where we talk about it, but some text details and then many other resources and lessons and videos that you can go to. So even if you're not a channel member, you can use the 5x5 lessons. Just the channel members are going to be able to see the anchor video for these classes. And on the channel page, the link for the lesson for this week is there for you channel members. Okay. Hi, Miguel. Nice to see you. And Farad. And welcome from Poland. Nice to see you as well. Please do feel free to ask your questions at any time. This is open for everyone, so you don't have to be a channel member to ask. I will start talking about some of the channel members' questions that came in this week while you're thinking of what you'd like to ask. So first of all, for Evan and Sienna, we have some special words, including they'd like to know about the word Minecraft. So Minecraft has first syllable stress. If I said it with second syllable stress, it would sound like Minecraft. That sounds funny, right, guys? So we want to have the length on the mine, and the word mind, the letter I, says its name. So mine actually follows one of the rules we have in American English spelling, which is if I have an E that says no sound at the end of the word, like in the word mine, it makes the letter say its name. So the silent E makes the I say I. And in American English, I is a diphthong, two sounds, I. So I, mine, no sound for that E, right? And then we have the craft part, we have the black cat vowel. That sounds like a. So often letter A in a short syllable like this will say the a vowel. And then we have to make sure that we say the F and the T sound. Minecraft, Minecraft. And then your next words, Evan and Sienna, were also survival. Oops, I have to spell it right first. So we have the letters UR, but this sir, the sound is the ER sound, sir. It's just the same as this word, sir, like hello, sir. So we have a lot of different ways we can spell that sound with UR, IR, ER, even OR and AR sometimes say the sound So you can write it as sir if you're familiar with that word, or you might also write it as sir, like in serve or service. But it's going to be short and unstressed because the stress in survival is on the vive syllable, survival. For some people, doing V sounds is challenging, so make sure that you have your upper teeth and lower lip touching and that the sound continues, your voice is on. To feel how that should feel, you can try the sound that letter F makes, then turn your voice on, V, vi, vive. So we have two in a row. Here's another I that says its name. So I'll just write it as an I. It's also the diphthong I like and I do. And then the vul, the VAL, this last A says schwa, sounds like an survival. And our L in survival is a dark L. So I almost don't do much vowel there at all. It's not survival, vol. There's not a lot of vowel sound, survival, vul. My vowel is pretty short, and it's the sound because when I say the dark L at the ends of words, the back of my tongue stays down, and just the front lifts for the L. So trying that L by itself, ul, vul, vival, survival, might help you. Again, short, long, short is our syllable stress. So second syllable stress here, survival. And then lastly, for Evan and Sienna, we have the words creative. Again, another second syllable stress word. So good choice of words for today, guys. So we have creative. The letter A says its name. It sounds like the long American diphthong A. And then here, letter E also says its name. And so if I were to see it in the IPA, it would be that I says E. And then we would have creative. I can think about it like 3 syllables, a. And then I'm going to write this letter T, the sound, as a D, because in creative, the T is a flap T, which means it sounds more like a D, creative. This last E, I shouldn't have written it there because it doesn't make any sound. And this is a place where the letter E does not make the I say its name. It doesn't follow the rule, but it's in an unstressed syllable, so it's going to have a short reduced vowel. Creative. Okay, thanks for those suggestions, Evan and Sienna. I hope that helped you with those words that you requested. And let's see. Let's look next at Bernice. Wants to know about the word extraterrestrial. Okay, lots of R's in your word, Bernice. So extraterrestrial. This is one, I think, where if you break it down syllable by syllable, it's going to really help you. The EX, the X in this word, in the word extra, actually has the red tent vowel, and then it's voiceless, KS sound, X. And then we have to go right to our T, extra. So this letter A says schwa. So I would say extra, This TER says the ER sound, ter, almost like no vowel there at all, almost going right to the R, ter. And then rest, just like the word rest, extraterrestrial. Maybe I'll write it as rest, and then tree. Again, there's our dark L with the vowel schwa before it. So extraterrestrial, stress is on rest. Extraterrestrial. I guess I didn't spell it correctly. Sorry about that. So you can, again, go slowly. Extraterrestrial. Then try to speed up. Extraterrestrial. And even more. Extraterrestrial. It's definitely a mouthful, especially if R's give you a challenge. So thank you for that request. And Miguel, one of our channel members, has a request. He wants to make the distinction between salmon rolls and summer rolls. Okay, so he's saying summer rolls, but people are hearing it more like salmon rolls. So I would say, first of all, that's partially probably because people are thinking, if they're thinking about sushi or rolls, they're thinking about fish. And so their brain is more likely to want to hear salmon than summer. So partly might not be so much your error and more their listening error, but still, let's look at the distinction between summer and salmon. For both summer rolls and salmon rolls, we're going to stress on the summer or the salmon, and rolls is not going to be as stressed. Summer has first syllable stress, and it has vowel schwa. So thinking about it like a long sa, and then a shorter mer, with our vowel summer, versus salmon. I would say the big thing you want to have here is your black cat vowel in salmon. And then not much of a vowel for the N sound. So we do have a little bit of a schwa there, salmon. Or you can think of it as more like a min, salmon, going longer. So you're trying to emphasize summer rolls. And maybe part of what you need there is a little break between the two, because the the R, what they might be hearing is like some rolls, like if they're not hearing the break, they're just hearing the M and the S part, and then they're thinking that R is part of rolls. So summer rolls, salmon rolls. To do summer, since I think you're probably saying salmon correctly, so you don't need as much help with differentiating that. I would maybe make a little break between summer and rolls. Summer rolls, summer rolls. Because we would naturally want to link those two. That might be leading to some of the confusion of them expecting to hear salmon and then not necessarily hearing your sound. The other thing that might be happening, Miguel, is that your might be opening a little too much to more of an ah. That tendency for that schwa for a lot of speakers is to get a little too tense and open, more like maybe the actually the Spanish ah. So close and relax summer. Yeah, and really I would say probably highlighting that first vowel and maybe a little break between the two, I hope will help it be very clear what you're saying. Okay, great. Thank you for that request and that suggestion. Okay, and we have a request for the word encyclopedia. So let's take a look at your word. Gotta spell it right. Encyclopedia. So I don't know if you noticed when I was reading your word, I was and thinking about saying it out, I was maybe going to say this O like encyclopedia, but actually if I say the word in connected speech, I don't use an O there. I say encyclopedia. Again, that's because of where the stress lies in the word, that sometimes we don't say clear vowels in our unstressed syllables. So the stress in encyclopedia is on the p'd syllable. So that one has the clear E vowel. And then we have a D ya at the end. So you can think of it as E and or there's a little glide ya in between. Encycla, see there I go again. In the en says vowel in because it's unstressed. In psi, the cy says again our diphthong I. So just like we were talking about in Minecraft, encycla. There's another schwa there. Encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. Long. A lot of syllables in that word. So again, this might be one where encyclopedia, slowing it down, then speeding it back up more slowly. Encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. Or sometimes with, it helps to start on the stressed syllable and build from there. So you would do pedia, cyclopedia, encyclopedia. Typically, if you look at pronouncing the word not from the start, but in a different manner, either by breaking it up, starting in another place, building from the back, it tends to help you sequence the sounds, because as soon as I go to the beginning of the word the way I've always said it, I might get tripped up because I'd feel like I can't say it correctly, or I have patterns and habits for that. And so approaching it in a new way tends to be very helpful in changing and learning that new pattern. And then eventually, of course, you can start, excuse me, from the beginning and say it correctly. Excuse me, I need to clear my throat. Okay, thank you for that suggestion. Halim would like to know about the words patent and contagious. Oops, no N in patent. So we were talking about this phenomenon with two stop T's in our last class on Friday. Patent. We don't really release either of those T's typically in American English. What I do instead is I go up to mark the T, pat, I lift my tongue for it, and then I move right into the N, no vowel there, patent. And then I do a short N, stop it again quickly to mark the second T, patent. You can say patent, but it doesn't sound like an American native speaker. That's more like what a British person would say, or many other dialects of English. If it's hard to do the patent, the two shortened, It's certainly okay to say patent, or just stop the final one, patent, if that's easier. And then Halim's other word was contagious, another second syllable stress word. So good job being on theme today, guys. Contagious. So this is another example where the letter O is going to say the vowel schwa. Sounds more like a U. It's a unstressed schwa like that. Then we have our tense A. That's where our length is. Contagious. This letter G says more the J sound. This is the symbol for it. It's either spelled with G or letter G or letter J usually. And then the contagious, we basically just have another schwa at the end, contagious. Contagious. We actually do say the T here because it's after the N sound and it starts a stressed syllable. So a lot of times in the middle of words, our T will more like a D or drop off. This doesn't follow the rule of NT because the syllable break is here. So we have te, and we want to make sure we use an aspirated T there, contagious. Yeah, that's a word we're using a lot lately, aren't we? Great, okay. We also have a request for the word mysterious. Mysterious. Second syllable stress again. My says the I vowel, just like in the word miss. Mystere. We have an ear diphthong there, so you could write it like this as well. Ear, just like the word ear, mystere, and then an us, and ending again, mysterious. A little bit of a glide comes between the E and the when we're moving from that sound to sound there, but we don't have to intentionally say it. Mysterious. Mysterious circumstances. Great, thank you. Nice to see everyone here today. It's nice to have some guests to our members classes. Usually we have a pretty small group, and we do a lot of talking about the lesson for the week, as well as answering the small groups specific questions. And as I mentioned in the beginning of class, I also cover requests and questions that came in over the week. So one of those that I'm going to get to now is from Randy, who wanted to know about the words permissive and permission. And I think he was probably noting he likes to look at spelling and pronunciation differences. So in permissive, the double S says the S sound. So we have an and then there's again like our miss that we just saw in mystery. Permissive, second syllable stress, and then just an iv ending. Versus permission, this double S at the end says the SH sound. So we have two different alternates for the S's. So same at the beginning, same stress on miss, and then unstressed shun, permissive and permission. So again, can't count on looking at the way a word is spelled to know how it's pronounced. A lot of what I like to do, as you see today in this class and in my other classes, is rewrite the word with a spelling that makes more sense and matches the sounds better for your eye. I also often will use the IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, symbols, where one symbol is one sound. So in that case, if I was looking at the SS like in permissive, then the symbol in the dictionary would be an S. If I was looking at the SS like in permission, the symbol in the dictionary would be this tall, skinny S, and that's what I call the SH sound. So I will use both, this SH, because most people know that says sh, and also this sh symbol. You can learn the symbols as we go if they're helpful for you, particularly on sounds that you have trouble with. So for example, if you have trouble with the SH and CH sounds, someone recently was asking me about the words wash versus watch, where the only difference is this one has the SH sound and this one has the CH sound. Ch. The CH sound looks like this in the dictionary. So it's actually two symbols together, the symbol for the T and the symbol for the SH. And if you know how we make the ch sound, that'll make sense to you. It is just one sound, but my tongue starts in the position for the T, behind my teeth, and then it releases and pushes out the air in the shape for the SH. So when I say shh, my tongue is down and my lips might have some rounding. When I say t, my tongue is up and the air just comes out. When I put them together, ch, ch, my tongue moves from the T position down to the SH position, and it doesn't hold the sound. So that one implies it's held. That one is short. So that's just one brief idea or brief example of why it can be helpful to learn the IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet Symbols, that I use in my videos and on speechmodification.com, and that you'll see in some dictionaries online that can help you translate from spelling into sounds. So that's a lot of what we tend to need to look at when it comes to pronunciation. And many times your questions, I think, they do arise from words being difficult to pronounce. They do arise from accent error patterns that you have because of your native language, but often it's spelling that creates a problem for pronunciation. So learning about one sound, one symbol can be a very useful tool, and I highly recommend it. Okay, great. We have a question for the word derived. So derived has second syllable stress. And so the DE in derived, the letter E says the I sound. So we don't say derived with a clear vowel. We reduce it down to an I, derived. Our I is just like our I in Minecraft or in our other words today, where it has the I diphthong. So it's just the same as letter I. And then VED ending, no vowel, just going right from the V to the D, derived. So if I say derive, I end in V because V is voiced when I make it past tense or add the ED, then I just say a D sound, derived. Long on the rived syllable and short on the D syllable. It's similar to the word arrived, where this is actually just these four sounds. I do sometimes hear people trying to say it more like arrived or derived, and we don't have that D sound. I can also use a little schwa here, derived. It doesn't matter too much which unstressed short vowel I use in that first syllable, but in the dictionary you'll see it as an I, which is the vowel sound in did and different, derived. Thanks, that was a good word and a good suggestion. So we have a request. Isabel wants to know what topics do we share with members. So Isabel, we have right now, we're working on the 5x5 challenge, and I can show you a few of the videos and topics that we've covered in that challenge so far. And the next challenge we'll be doing is the Sounds of English challenge, where we're going to go through every single vowel sound and every single consonant sound. And there's going to be lessons on the website for each sound. The videos will be released each week. And of course, we'll also have our member live videos. And that series should start probably in the next month or two, because we'll be finishing up with the 5x5 series. So if we look at the 5x5 series, we can look here on the website and see some of the topics that we've covered. So we sometimes will look just at specific sounds. So we looked at some vowel sounds, the O sounds, A versus eh, some of the challenging front vowels, R sounds. Let's see, I'm going to go back. R sounds and walking you through also steps of practice. So these lessons were meant to be, the video lesson is usually about 5 minutes long, and then there's a lot of accompanying lessons. And they were originally designed for people who've been working on their speech, who either worked with me as clients, came to one of my classes, or have been attending on YouTube for a long time. And they were each kind of a self-contained topic where you could spend about 5 minutes watching that video, learning on that topic, and it gave you some short 5-minute practices you could do throughout the week to improve on that particular pattern or sound. So we're learning the information, but then also taking what you know and starting to apply it. as well as having a lot of additional resources to go more in depth on the ones that were useful for you. So you'll see we always have what the topic is, like this is this week's, what the error patterns might be, how to correct the error, practice steps, and then additional resources as well as common words. So in terms of the member classes, the topics that come up are also just the topics that our members ask about, which is my main focus. And I'm always looking for feedback from my members about what to change and add for member perks and advantages for them so that it's a useful service. One of the things that I have at one of my levels is moving your words and requests higher up on the word of the day list so I can cover them sooner. And then, of course, all of my members only have to wait at most a week to hear about their words because I cover them in the Sunday classes. Whether or not you can attend live, you can get your answers and watch the replay at any point. So it's kind of a customized question and answer, as well as support for what your particular needs are and what you're working on. Okay, so I have a word here, which I'm going to attempt to pronounce, which is obstreperous, but I'm going to look it up because I don't know this word. And so I'll show you how I approach a new word that I don't know. I like the Oxford Learner's Dictionary, although there's many good online dictionaries. Google sometimes has good pronunciation help now too, where you can slow down the word. But I'll go to my standby, which is the Oxford. And the spelling of the word is O-B-S-T-R-E. Oh, here it is. It popped up. And so let's look and see. This will show us in the IPA how to pronounce it. I also can turn up my volume and I can hear the pronunciation. So it shows me British and American English. Let's listen to the American English.
Obstreperous.
Obstreperous. Oh, okay. So second syllable stress, which I can see because they mark it with a line before the strep syllable. We have the red tent vowel, strep, and then we have some schwas. So all of the unstressed syllables sound like obstreperous, obstreperous. Yeah, and the meaning is noisy and difficult to control, could be formal or humorous. All right, so certainly the kids these days, when we're trying to work from home, can be obstreperous. Obstreperous. Okay, great. Thanks. I learned a new word today. That was a good suggestion. And I also was able to model for you a good way to look up a word on the fly and to get some help with how to read the symbols and use the IPA to your advantage. We are looking at, Aladdin had a question, which is a good one because it comes up for a lot of Arabic speakers, which is the words version versus virgin. And I do have a video for this. I'll put a link in the comments after class. The main differences here between these two words are that in version, you have a continuing sound, which I sometimes call the voiced SH sound. So just like we were talking about the sh sound earlier, I can turn my voice on and make the zh sound. That's the sound at the beginning of a word like genre, not very common at the beginning of words, more common in the middle of words like measure, treasure, or version. So that sound can continue. Whereas in virgin, this sound is the j sound, which I associate with letter J. And we have, it can't continue. So thinking of it as gin, virgin, versus jeune, version. So the other difference is that virgin at the end has an I. This one has more of an sound. But the most important part and the most important distinction is the j versus j sound, which is challenging for Arabic speakers. And so you can see my videos about these two sounds, as well as I have a very good explanatory video for these particular words. And they break down the sounds and help you kind of build up your techniques for that. So if you go, as I said, in the when the class is finished, I can put a link for that in the comments for you so you can check it out. Okay, Let's do one last word and then we'll wrap up for today. I'll be back again on Friday with another open class for everyone, our question and answer. And then, of course, next Sunday, our members will be back for our members only class. And maybe some of you will join as new members and you can be here for that class with us. So Tashi wants to know the word blessed. There's two pronunciations for this word. The most common is going to have the red tent vowel, the S sound, and the T sound, blessed. I'm very blessed to know you because the S is voiceless. So when the S is voiceless, my ED says the T sound, like, for example, in stopped or walked, we just say a T for the ED. We also sometimes will hear blessed. So this is more when we're saying, so blessed is the verb, I'm blessed, or the verb participle. But blessed is used like in old language, or if you're saying, the blessed Virgin Mary, the blessed statue, the blessed church. I don't know exactly like if that's, there's not a lot of opportunities to say it in regular speech, but when we're referring to it when it's an adjective, then it's more like blessed, like the word said, or you can think about it like that, blessed. Then it's two syllables instead of one. That's a little bit confusing because you don't really get to do that, two syllables and said on those other words, like we don't say walked. You want to avoid that. That's just walked blessed. But in blessed, it's an exception to that rule for particular usage of that word. Okay, thank you for that request. And thank you, welcome. It was nice to have all of you here today. Especially thank you to my channel members for your contributions and your support. And do let me know, channel members, which requests and words you'd like to see in next week's class. If you can't make it live, you can leave those in the comments for this video or any of my videos, and I'll be watching for those throughout the week and covering them next Sunday. I'll be back again tomorrow with our regular Word of the Day class, as well as on Friday, we'll have our live question and answer class open to everyone. Thanks so much for being a part of the channel. I really appreciate your channel membership, those of you who've subscribed, and of course, all your comments and questions that you leave on my videos. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, guys. I'll see you soon.